Welcome, everyone, to today's deep dive. We've got a really fascinating, though pretty sobering mission today. We are going to explore this massive shift in how we process beliefs.
Yeah, it's a huge topic.
It really is. We're looking at how old school superstition didn't just, disappear when we got smartphones. It just kind of, put on a lab coat and hijack the vocabulary of science.
Right, exactly. And to understand why that matters to you, listener, we have to look at the sources we're pulling from today.
Yeah, and we're starting with a really tragic news report out of Chattisgarh. Because we need to set the tone here. This isn't just about quirky beliefs.
No, it has real devastating consequences.
Exactly. The report details an 18-year-old girl who died. And she didn't die because there wasn't a cure for her illness. She died because she was taken to a fake healer instead of getting proper medical treatment.
It's just horrifying.
It is. This healer used rituals, boiling hot water, and extreme physical pressure on this young girl, all claiming it was spiritual healing.
And I believe he got a life sentence for it, right?
He did, yeah. But the thing that really stands out, the cautionary tale here, is that this tragedy wasn't just caused by pure ignorance or a lack of hospitals.
Right.
It was driven by belief, a belief that was so incredibly powerful that it entirely replaced the evidence happening right in front of their eyes.
And that's exactly where the danger lies because, it's really easy to hear a story like that from Chattisgarh and think, well, that's them.
Oh, for sure. We distance ourselves.
We do. We think we're immune to that kind of blind faith because, hey, we're modern, we're rational, we live in cities. But the sources we're diving into today, especially the writings of Acharya Prashant, they argue the exact opposite.
Yeah, that we aren't immune at all.
Not even a little bit. Superstition today doesn't look like superstition anymore. It sounds like science.
Which is such a wild pivot to think about.
Yeah.
How does a fake healer's extreme tragic ritual connect to the everyday phrases that, frankly, we probably all hear or even use?
Well, Acharya Prashant introduces this concept called Lok Dharma.
Lok Dharma.
Yeah, it translates to folk belief. It's the traditional belief system of a society. Now, centuries ago, Lok Dharma relied entirely on fear or tradition. But today it has adapted.
Because we don't buy into the old myths as easily.
Exactly. To survive in the modern world, it borrows the language of science. It takes words like energy, vibration, frequency, quantum, molecules.
Okay, I have to push back a little bit here.
Sure, go for it.
Wait, aren't things like vibrations completely real? I mean, I definitely learned about frequencies and vibrations in high school physics. It's not magic.
Oh, they're absolutely real terms. But the distortion happens in how they're being used in this new Lok Dharma.
Okay, how so?
So in physics, a vibration has a precise, measurable meaning. Right.
Right, like measuring a sound wave.
Exactly. But in popular culture, it becomes this fuzzy, stretchy concept, like saying someone has low vibrations because your meeting went badly, or high vibrations because you found a $20 bill on the street.
Oh, yeah. Like it just means whatever you want it to mean in the moment.
Right. The word is made unfalsifiable. Science isn't just a collection of really impressive words. It's a method. It demands doubt and testing.
Right. You want evidence.
Exactly. So when these words are used without any scientific discipline, they just become tools of persuasion. Yeah. They're designed to make it very difficult for anyone to question the claim.
It's like, the analogy that comes to mind is, it's like wearing a stethoscope around your neck at a coffee shop, just so people won't question if you're a doctor.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
You're just adopting the aesthetic of authority, but you aren't actually doing the medical work. You're in a costume.
You're in a costume, and it works. People see the stethoscope or they hear the word quantum, and they just stop asking questions.
Okay, so if these scientific words are just a disguise, how does this actually play out in our daily habits? Because it feels like it's everywhere.
It really is. The wellness industry is a perfect example from the text. We're constantly told that food absorbs human emotions.
Oh, like when people say you have to cook with love or the food becomes toxic.
Exactly. Or that water can be energized with specific words. Or that listening to a specific frequency on YouTube will literally heal your cellular DNA.
Right, and it's all presented without any controlled experiments or peer review.
None. Zero reproducible results. And you see it in astrology, too.
Oh, man, astrology. That is huge right now.
Right. And astrology is brilliant at this because it uses real astronomical terms. Constellations, planetary orbits, retrogrades.
Real things.
Real things in space. But then it stretches them to predict your highly specific personality traits or whether you'll get a promotion this week.
Which is wild because, I mean, hasn't science tested this repeatedly and found no evidence?
Over and over again. And the classic defense is always the moon.
Oh, I've heard this. The moon argument.
People always say, well, the moon affects the ocean tides and humans are mostly water, so obviously the moon controls our emotions.
It sounds so logical when you say it like that.
It does, but it ignores the actual physics of gravity. Yes, the moon pulls the ocean, but the leap to saying it directly controls the water in your brain to make you angry. There's no solid biomechanical evidence for that.
I read once that, like, a mosquito landing on your arm has more gravitational pull on you than Jupiter does.
Right. But the moon story survives because it's simple, it's dramatic, and it's repeated constantly.
So how are our brains letting this happen? Why do we fall for this?
It's essentially two things, confirmation bias and cherry picking.
Okay, break that down for me.
Well, we take a tiny slice of real science, like the fact that the moon has gravity, we strip away the context, and we staple it to a pre-existing belief.
Ah, so we already want to believe it.
Exactly. We remember the one time our horoscope said we'd have a bad day and we got a flat tire. We totally ignored the 50 times it said we'd have a bad day and nothing happened.
The conclusion comes first, and then we just bolt the science on later to make ourselves feel better.
That's exactly it.
Which is so ironic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we use these advanced terms because we desperately want to feel logical. But in reality, we are walking so far away from genuine inquiry.
We really are.
So, if the problem isn't just that people are using the wrong vocabulary, what is the root cause here? Why is the modern rational mind still falling into this exact same trap?
And this is where the AP framework from the sources really gets to the core of the issue.
The philosophical part of the deep dive.
Right. Because the argument here is that the actual superstition isn't believing in manifesting or healing frequencies.
Wait, really? What is it then?
Those are just the symptoms. The first, the ultimate superstition, is the unquestioned belief in the I.
The I. You mean the ego?
Yes. The ego that is doing the believing. See, we spent centuries tearing down external superstitions.
Right, the scientific revolution challenging the church, all that.
Exactly. We tore down religious, cultural, and astrological dogma, but we never actually examined the examiner.
I love this analogy from the text. It's like we completely updated our computer's operating system, right?
Mm-hmm.
We uninstalled the whole God will provide software, and we installed this shiny new I will manifest through quantum energy software.
Yep.
But we are still running it on the exact same buggy hardware, the human ego.
That is the perfect way to look at it. The hardware hasn't changed at all. The ego weaponizes scientific language just to protect itself.
Wow. So it just uses whatever tools are lying around to survive.
Exactly. It deliberately chooses words that can't be tested and explanations that always bend in its favor just to avoid being questioned.
So even the hardcore rationalist is vulnerable here.
Oh, highly vulnerable. A pure rationalist might demand scientific rigor, but the entity demanding that rigor is the exact same ego that used to demand blind belief.
Because it wants to be right.
It wants to be right. It wants to be safe, and it wants to feel superior. You can't think your way out of this trap using more logic because the ego is the one operating the logic machine.
That is, wow, that kind of turns everything upside down.
It really does. It requires a completely different kind of awareness.
So let's bring this full circle for the listener, because we've covered a lot of ground today.
We really have.
We started with a physical, tragic death in Chhattisgarh, a tragedy caused by blind faith.
Right.
And we uncovered how that exact same blind faith has quietly infiltrated our modern everyday lives simply by disguising itself as science.
Just put on a different costume.
Exactly. And the reason this matters to you listening right now is that the ultimate trap isn't out there.
No, it's not.
It's not in fake healers or daily astrology columns. The real danger is the unquestioned confidence of our own minds.
The unexamined ego.
Right. So we want to leave you with a final thought to mull over today, straight from the AP Frameworks Directive to look at the eye.
It's a great exercise.
The next time you find yourself vigorously defending a, highly rational or scientific viewpoint in an argument.
We've all been there.
Oh, totally. Just ask yourself, are you actually defending the objective truth? Or are you just protecting the ego that secretly loves feeling like the smartest person in the room?
That's the real question.
It really is. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the sources today.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, everyone. We'll catch you next time.